surprised when you start talking to the FHSAA people how much they really love this area. And you know, at the end of last year's tournament, they were already talking about a 2-year extension here.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously they like what you're doing.
Well, we got it this year, and we got it next year, and then hopefully we can get it for 2 more years. I mean, it'll be a challenge. I know there's a lot of people want it, but I'm very prejudiced. Nobody's going to do a better job than we are. Nobody's going to work harder. I mean, we got the greatest facility. You know, if we can get, our key thing, if we can get some corporate sponsors in here that would buy hundreds of tickets and throw them back to the Little League. A lot of the hotels did it this year. The Residence Inn, the Holiday Inn, the Homewood Suites, the Spring Hill Suites, the Hampton Inn. A lot of them bought tickets. Say, John, here's the tickets. Give them right back. Give them to the Little Leagues. And that's what we're looking for. Walmart bought 250 tickets and donated them to Little League up in Vero Beach. But that's what we're looking at. And if we can get a corporate sponsor for this, this could be a gold mine. Because next year, going to 32 teams, now we're bringing in over 1,000 players and coaches. The fans will be in a neighborhood of somewhere 12 or 13,000 because and the hotel rooms will just be phenomenal because people, we're going to have about 5 or 6 groups that are just coming from the Panhandle. So they're not going to just come down for one day. They're going to come down for 2 or 3 days. When they see this area, when they play the golf courses here, they see the beaches here, they're going to want to come back. So we're advertising this area. But that's what we really need is some sponsorship out there that would really support this tournament so we can have it. I remember when we bid for it, one of Mr. Lannon, my superintendent's quote was, we want Port St. Lucie to be the Omaha of high school baseball in Florida. And we're sure trying, and we'd really like to keep it here.
Well, you guys are doing a fine job. First year where you sold out of the pre-sale tickets,
No,
right?
No,
Not the first year?
Not the first year. Even with South Fork in it, we sold about 1,700 the first year. We sold 1,600 the second year. And this year, without any local teams, we sold 2,000 tickets in 4 weeks. It was just, we really got, like I said, a lot of the hotels, a lot of the businesses got involved. And next year, we'd like to up that to maybe 3,000 or 4,000 pre-sale tickets.
And one thing I saw in the paper was a lot of those tickets, they didn't have to go to the high schools.
Right. The high schools, as my friends and my colleagues as athletic directors were buying those tickets, giving them to the schools. Well, then we kind of started thinking, those high school kids are going to come no matter what, okay? Let's offer them, get the Little League kids that normally wouldn't come. Let them see what it's all about, you know. I've been very, very fortunate that when I went to some state championships, there was a great amount of I didn't know it at the time. I remember, I'll give you the year, 1989. I was coaching at Miami Pace, and we went up and we played Jacksonville Bulls. And we had just won the state championship the year before. We had a ton of players coming back, and we were #1 in the state. Well, we played Bulls, which was always a phenomenal program. But they had a young sophomore pitcher on the mound. Never heard of this kid left and right. He shut us out. We haven't been shut out all year. His name was Jones, Chipper Jones. He pitched for them, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
He was a pitcher?
He was a pitcher back then.
Really?
And
Wow.
He shut us down, and then, you know, my good friend Donnie Soriano was the coach, and I said, where did you get this guy from? And, you know, we hadn't been shut out, I think, in almost 3 years, and he shut us down pretty well. So you never know who you're going to see out here. You know, I know my Tampa Alonzo has another kid named Fernandez. I think it's Jose Fernandez. He could be the #1 draft pick, okay? West Boca has a kid named Kelly who's going to pitch on Friday night at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a first-round pick. I know Archbishop McCarthy has 3 or 4 players that were on their team last year that are coming back that are going to be, you know, I would say in the top 3 or 4 rounds as draft picks. But there's going to be a ton of scouts out here.
Well, the Mets use the saying, see the stars of tomorrow today, and really that's so true with this tournament.
Yes.
Because you know we've got the best of the best in the state of Florida.
Absolutely.
Is Chipper Jones the best player you've seen or most recognizable player that you've seen come through the high school ranks around here?
No, honestly, and I got to be a little prejudiced, but the best player I ever saw in high school, and I had Rick Ankiel, who was 1A, but Alex Fernandez was the best player I ever seen. I mean, we went to the state final game 4 years. We won it when he was a freshman. We won it when he was a senior. His sophomore and junior year, he pitched in the state semifinal, pitched a shutout one year and no-hitter the next year, and then we lost in the finals. He was 48-2, in 4 years. He batted close to 500, led the
Wow.
team in home runs every year. He was just a great all-round player. He was the absolute best high school player. So usually I see Alex, a few times during the year, and we went down and played him this year, and his players on his team came up to me and says, Mr. Messina, he's telling me all these stories about how good he was in high school. He couldn't have been that good. I said, you know what? He wasn't. He was better than what he's telling you.
So he pitched a no-hitter here in the Final Four?
In the semifinals.
Wow.
Yeah, he pitched a no-hitter in the semifinals. He was good. His freshman year, he didn't pitch. That was when we had that Bobby Raff I was telling you about that wouldn't come out of the game. But his sophomore year, he pitched a no-hitter, and then we lost in the final game, and he pitched in the semifinals. His junior year, he pitched a shutout, then we lost in the final game. And when we went up to baseball and boardwalk his senior year, on the way up, we're all thinking to ourselves, we ain't doing this again, so we held Alex back. And we pitched Jose Rios, who ended up going to the pitching for Princeton, very, very good pitcher. And Jose pitched the shutout, and Alex came in the final game. We won the final game over Florida High 3-1, so it's a great way of ending his career. But he went to the final game all 4 years.
Wow.
So I don't know how many people could say that.
Is there a strategy when you're coaching and trying to decide to go with which pitcher? Do you have like your number one pitcher that always goes in a certain round on either the district tournament and then the second round of the regionals?
That's a great question. Now, back then, if I go back 20 years ago, you only took the district winner going in. Now you take 2 teams from each district. So your most important game is your district semifinal. You win that game, you're in. If you lose the final, and like you guys mentioned, there's 7 runner-ups here, so they're doing something right going through there. But your district semifinal, which is usually played on a Wednesday or a Thursday, is your most important game. Then your final is on a Friday. If you win, you're home. If you lose, you're on the road, but you're still in the regional. But your pitcher who pitched in the district semifinal can come back and pitch the first game in the regional final, and then if you get by the semifinal, he can come back and pitch in the regional final. He can pitch in the regional quarterfinal and then the regional final, and then the first game of the tournament. So that's the setup you would have.
Do you save the number one or use the number one pitcher in the Final Four game, the semifinal, or save him for the championship game, or is that like a fine line that coaches sometimes try to play?
I don't think it's a fine line. I did it once, but the reason that we did it at pace is because we had lost in the semifinal the 2 previous years, and we weren't going to lose 3 years in a row, okay? We gambled. We felt our number 2 was that good, which he was. But I think if you're here, from point A to get to point B, you got to overcome point A. You got to throw your one that first game. I think Alonzo, if I'm not mistaken, their first year they threw their Fernandez kid, and they won. Last year they held him. They played American High, and he ended up losing 10-7. Now I'll guarantee you that Fernandez from Alonzo would not have given up 7 runs against American. But that's a coach's choice, whatever you feel comfortable with. But you got to go with your number 1.
So you're going to be seeing some of the top pitchers coming out here, especially tomorrow.
Yes.
And as Danny Einstein was saying, just over 50 of the top 100 players ranked in the state are here in this tournament.
Correct.
So fantastic games, fantastic players all the way throughout. Make sure to come out here. It's at Digital Domain Park, located in St. Lucie West. Very easy to find, right off of 95. You can come out here. $8 gets you a session that is 2 games. So you come out Wednesday, May 18th. You'll be able to see the Class 1A games or the Class 3A games, or both. You can buy tickets for both and stay here. They're all going to be fantastic games. The championships for those 2 classes will be Thursday, May 19th, starting at 4:05. Friday, May 20th, you've got the Final Four for Class 2A and 5A. Going off then at the championships Saturday, May 21st. And then we resume on Monday, May 23rd, classes 4A and 6A and their Final Four with the championship games Tuesday starting at 4:05. It's going to be a fantastic week. I'm going to try to come out to as many of these teams as I can because it's the high school. I've been amazed at the level of high school baseball and following the teams, the local teams this year. And I'm being from Pittsburgh. It was hard for me to be a baseball fan for many, many years. And I kind of fell off of it, but getting back into it now this year, seeing the high school teams, seeing the minor league teams, the Mets and all the other ones that are so close to here, baseball it's such a good sport, especially to see in person. It might not seem that way to see it on TV where it's so slow and stuff, but when you come out to the park, you come out to the stadium, You've got a drink, you've got a hot dog, you're out in the sun, everyone's around you. It's a fantastic time, and it's going to be a great way to spend an afternoon.
Absolutely. We hope we have big crowds. We hope we have a great tournament, and we're going to have good weather.
Oh yeah, I checked the weather earlier today because I was afraid. I thought it was going to rain today. That was my big.
It was
concern.
supposed to.
It was,
Well,
that's
yeah.
everything I heard was it was going to pour today.
Yeah.
The only problem we have is about 1 billion love bugs, but they'll go away soon.
A billion, it might be 1 billion and one. I don't know. It
There's
seems
a
to be
lot.
as bad as it is. You
Yeah.
go anywhere up 95 in
Sure.
the Turnpike, and they're all over the
Absolutely.
place. My mom decided to put Pam on the front of her car
Really?
to try to work, and it works. I don't know.
I'll
Yeah, it
try
does.
that. That's great to know.
Slide right off.
That's great.
It took a little bit of elbow grease, but not too bad.
That's good.
Now, I saw this highlight on SportsCenter, and it made me think of something here. It was Evan Longoria, and I hope it's not fake, but he was being interviewed about where we are now on the field in relation to batting practice, and he was being interviewed, and somebody was taking BP, and they hit a shot which was very similar to my golf swing, which is it starts off going straight and then just turns, and it cuts left, and it comes right to him, and he's sitting there talking to the reporter who's right in front of him, and without really any notice, he just turns around and bare hands the ball and saves it from going right in. And it was one of those where you see it and you just can't help but go, oh my God, that was amazing. Have you seen too many of those moments in your career where you've just been like jumped out and be like, I can't believe I just saw that?
We've seen some great plays over the years. I mean, it's probably too many to just narrow it down to one, but yes, you do. and you know what's going to be ironic is we're going to see a great play tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
Oh, yeah.
knows who's going to make that great play.
Exactly.
The young man on this team doesn't know. We're going to see one on Friday. We're going to see one over the weekend. One Monday and Tuesday. Somebody's going to make a great play. We're going to see an upset. That's what it's all about. That's why it's a game. I know we got some big favorites here, but somebody is going to make a great play. You least expect it, on that.
And there's going to be, hopefully there's a lot of cameras out here. You get the YouTube moments and you get some of these
Yeah,
guys
they
because
are,
you see
yes.
them all the time.
Yeah.
Greg, we had the triple play from Martin County.
Yeah.
Huge catch out at the wall, turned into a triple play. You've seen some shortstops making diving catches.
Sure.
It's going to be a fantastic event. Great plays, as you said. Somebody's going to step up and make
Yep.
a play, and somebody's going to win. All next week, right here. Actually, all this week, starting tomorrow, Wednesday, May 18th, 10 a.m., going through Tuesday, May 24th, the championship games. Come on out here, Digital Domain Park. That's it for us here in the Quick Dot Coaches Corner, live from Digital Domain Park. I want to thank John Messina and Dan Neinstein and Greg Wyatt for joining me out here. And that's it for us. Remember, $8 can get you into these games. Come on out, Digital Domain Park, the FHSAA State Finals. Good night, everybody.